Welcome back. We are willing the Championship to return. We don't like international breaks. You're very welcome. My name's Mark, and we've got Dan here. We are playing Barclays era versus TikTok era and guessing the result of all 12 games in the next Championship game week. How are you, Dan? Happy
I'm good,
man
thank
after
you,
after the Sheffield derby, I'd imagine.
I was just going to touch on that. I'm even more happy that Rhian Bruce has scored. I think if you could have had any goal scorer in that game, he would have been the one I chose.
Yeah,
I've been sticking by him for years, Mark, and he's repaid it.
I'm sure. Has he paid back his? Is he that goal worth 24 million that he owes you?
100%, and more.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, thank you very much for joining us. We are predicting the FA Cup games as well this week because we've still got Championship representation in the quarterfinals, and that's where we're going to start this week. Before we get there, if you follow any of the Championship clubs, have a look at the stream link below to find your club's channel. We record 20 minutes of fan chat every single week, and if you're a fan that fancies coming on and having a chat, then you can email us as well. Use the link below. Let's jump straight into the FA Cup action then, and Preston North End season rides on this one. This is a quarter-final at Deepdale, and it's crazy. Preston are 90 minutes away from Wembley. Wouldn't have said that at the start of the season under Ryan Lowe, would you, Dan?
No, I do think this is it. I don't think they'll make it to Wembley. We said the same. Villa had Cardiff, didn't they, in the last round? I mean, Cardiff put up a decent performance. It wasn't easy. But I do think Villa's team will be strong now when Wembley's a game away. I think they'll want it. I think they'll fancy the chances. The chance for a trophy, I think, will mean a lot to them. So unfortunately, I've gone 2-0 Villa. I'm happy that it's at home. I'm happy that Preston get to host Villa. I think personally, I would rather them come to Bramall Lane than go there. So
okay. The pitch at Deepdale should have been relayed, I think, last year, but Ridsdale said no because they couldn't afford to spend money on players. But the pitch at the moment, if you saw the game against Portsmouth at the weekend, Preston fans will tell you it's more like a rugby pitch. So there might be a bit of a leveler going on going into this game. I'm not sure the groundsman's going to be paying much attention to it at all. I'll say Preston score first. But I'll probably go with Villa 3-1 in the end. As much as we all desperately would love Preston to be in the semi-finals for the Championship. Right now, everybody wants to see the back of City in this particular one, because if we do, that means that the big six are out even before the semi-finals. Bournemouth are at home. Are we going to get rid of the big six?
No, I don't think so. I think this game means too much to Man City. I mean, they've had a bit of a shocker of a season in general. Other than this, it'll be their strongest 11. They're definitely going to go for it. I think the fact that they're the only team in the top six left just gives them even more hope. Gone 2-1 to Man City.
Okay, we'll go 2-0. At Bournemouth, I think I've lost the last 3 at home as well. Next up is London Derby, Fulham against Crystal Palace. Huge incentive for either of these, who rarely have won silverware in their history. Tricky on this one, Dan, to predict?
Yeah, I'm going with Fulham's win from last weekend against Tottenham. So that was really impressive. I feel like Fulham, no one really thinks they're doing too well, but then you kind of look at the odd performance here and there and you kind of go back at the results and think, oh, actually, Fulham have had a really great season. They've also got Sander Berg in midfield, former Blade. So I hope he does well. I've gone 2-1 to Fulham.
Right. I'm going to go 1-0 Palace. What should we say against my club? And attacking wise, they're great. They've just sort themselves out defensively. They could do something. 1-0 Palace for me. And then I think the last time Brighton played Forest was one of the scorelines nobody predicted. Was it 7-0 in the end? It's not going to be 7-0 this time around, is it?
No, I think that might even just fuel Brighton's will to win this. Brighton have been in great form as well since. And I think they're going to want to get revenge. I've gone 2-0 to Brighton. I think maybe he's going against the grain. I'm not sure what you think, Mark, but I'm backing Brighton.
Yeah, Forest have the odd game in them, don't they? Where they don't turn up. I'm going to go 2-2, and then somebody will win on penalties. That's all I'll say. Maybe I'll go Forest wins on penalties. Right then, now because Preston play, of course, in that game at the weekend, it does mean that their game this weekend is postponed until the Wednesday. We'll start with that one before I forget it. And they have to travel to Derby County now. Who'd have thought we'd be saying this? That Derby County are now in with a shot of staying up. They were adrift less than 2 weeks ago when Eustace came in. You see them beating Preston? A bit of an after the Lord Mayor show for Preston?
I think maybe the international break's come at a bad time for Derby. Obviously, 3 wins on the bounce. You kind of need that momentum to carry on. Obviously, Preston, difficult team to beat. They've shown that even in their cup run. I have backed Derby though. I like it. I feel like Eustace is now, even against Plymouth. I mean, getting that win 3-2 is almost like shows me that winning habit that even when it's close, when it's tight, they can still get the 3 points. I've gone 2-1. Maybe that's slightly hopeful, but yeah, I do think Derby can win this.
Right, we're going to have to go 0-0 here with this one. Preston will keep it tight. Derby don't score. Well, they say they don't score too many. They've started knocking them. Yeah. Right, let's focus on the top of the league then for the 3 clubs that are finalists. Only 8 games left. Are you getting a little bit nervous, or are you happy now that it's tight?
That was a massive 3 points for us against Wednesday. I mean, I'm going to get it in as much as I can, Mark. But yeah, I mean, I was looking at the run-in, and I do think we have a favourable run-in compared to Burnley. I think Burnley's our competition. I mean, for me personally, I'd love to win the league, but at the moment, it's just sort of like, in terms of an intelligent head, thinking with your brain, just keep ahead of Burnley, and I think we will. I think it's
right of Wilder to say that Wednesday season's over. Is that?
Yeah. You're asking a Sheffield United fan, Mark.
Okay. All right, let's look at your game then. I think this is probably your second hardest fixture of the 8 to come. Obviously, away at Burnley on Easter Monday will be the hardest. Yeah, Frank Lampard is in town with a Coventry City side. They've got the bit between their teeth. You are playing brilliantly. Let's be fair, especially at home as well. Is this going to be an
upset?
A win for Coventry? Yeah.
No, I've gone 2-1 Blades. I'll touch on a few things. I mean, against Sheffield Wednesday, it's a derby. Derbies are about results, not performances, really. I don't think either team deserve to win necessarily, but we have that moment. We've got that moment of quality to win these games, as we have all season, and it won't change because it's Coventry. Sousa, he was out. He was missing. Everyone kind of thought he'd be in the squad, but he won't be. Well, he wasn't. So this international break has come at a good time. So hopefully he'll be back. I think that will be a big game changer for us. I think if he starts, we will win this game. Coventry, on the other hand, just brought. Speaking of injuries, Hadi Wright, hat-trick against Sunderland. I thought Sunderland would definitely put up more of a fight than they did. It's a great result for Coventry, especially to bounce back. So, I've gone 2-1 Blades, but yeah, I agree with you that this is our second toughest game in the final games of the season.
Yeah, and there was a bit of spite in the first fixture, wasn't there, with Norman Bissett getting Al Hamadric sent off. He won't be playing in this fixture. There's no way. He's not been even making Coventry's bench in recent weeks. And with Hamer and O'Hare as well against the former side. It's Friday night under the lights.
I think the Friday night benefits us.
Yeah, it certainly does. I'm going to go... Let's go 2-2. There's going to be goals in this one. There's no doubt about it. Hopefully neutral. Leeds have probably got the easier of the 3 fixtures of the 3 of you this weekend, because at home on Saturday they've placed a Swansea side that were going all right, and then in recent weeks... last 2 fixtures, they've just started to fall apart again. 3 points for Leeds. This,
yeah. I think Swansea kind of had that interim manager bounce, but maybe it's wearing off. Obviously, Leeds did drop points. They've won 1 out of the last 4, but that does sound worse than it is. I've gone 4-0 to Leeds, but I mean, again, I think I said it last week as well. I hope they fall apart, but I can't see it.
Yeah, 2-0 Leeds this one. No doubt. No, not going to be dropping any more points. I can't see Ellen Road with the 4 teams they've got to come. Burnley, in the meanwhile, have to take on a resurgent Bristol City side who, since Tommy Conway scored at Ashton Gate, have not looked back. They've won every single game. They're scoring for free, and there's a real togetherness about Liam Manning's side. This is not going to be easy for Scott Parker.
Yeah, when I look at this game, I kind of think of last week when we had Bristol City at home. I mean, albeit we did have a slightly rested squad. I mean, there was no Sousa because of an injury, and Harmer was arguably rested for the Derby game at the weekend. But I was really impressed with Bristol City. I think that in terms of teams that have played the ball and kind of played football and not sat back at Bramall Lane, they're definitely up there. I'd say probably them and Sunderland. I'll bar you obvious ones like Leeds. But that makes me lean towards it being a close game. but I do think like maybe I'm kind of like wishfully thinking when I say Bristol City will be close. I've gone 2-1 to Burnley, but yeah, I do think it'll be close.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to go 1-0 Burnley. There's not going to be much in it at all. This one. Right, let's focus on the bottom half of the division then, shall we? The relegation issues. And oh my goodness, I mean, first of all, on Swansea, they're on 44 points as we speak. Do you think that's enough to keep them safe? I mean, there are 7 points above the drop. Sorry, 6 points above the drop as we speak.
Yes, I think I do. I mean, I'm not sure what the exact run-ins are for a lot of teams in the relegation zone, but I do think at the moment, to me, it's Stoke. They're the kind of ones that are flirting with the bottom three and could change. I also think Plymouth and Luton. I mean, Luton have to win that game against Borough. There's so many chances. And I think they've had a few games like that as well. So no, I think Stoke right now, to me, is them four. Stoke in the bottom three.
Yeah, in terms of the run-ins, you asked that. Oxford United have got a terrible run-in. They've got all three. Yeah, they've got Sheffield United, Sunderland, and Leeds all to play, I think, in the last 5 games. Plymouth have got a terrible run-in as well. So those two need to pick up points quickly against sides around them. Let's start with Hull City and Luton. Then that's most obviously the biggest 6-pointer of the weekend. Hull can't win at the MKM, but the last 2 games they have done. They got 2 out of 2. Luton are starting to look a lot more physical. They're starting to impose, and if they can they've sorted the defence out as well. This is, I think, the hardest game to predict of the 12.
I'd agree with you, maybe in the aspect that I think if this was flipped around and it was at Kenilworth Road, I probably would go the other way. But I've gone with the Hull win. I've gone 2-1. I know that home form hasn't been great, well, earlier in the season, but it has started to turn around. I also think Hull just in general are going to stay clear from the relegation zone. And I think Luton are kind of right. Well, obviously they're right involved in it. I've gone 2-1 to Hull.
Okay. Hull, yeah. Do you think if it was the other way around, I'd predict the away side in each of these fixtures, given that what's gone on. I'm going to go for a Luton win. Yeah, we've got to try and close some points back. Yeah, we'll go 1-0. 1-0 Luton. Plymouth have got a chance because we spoke to our Watford fan. Oops, I'm not sure what's coming with that one. Watford fan last night. Watford fans are just so angry at their side at the moment. Some people calling Tom Cleverley out of his depth. They don't want him sacked, but it looks like they're on the beach, Watford players. Plymouth have a chance, our Watford fans said. What do you reckon?
I mean, I did mention it last week. I think Plymouth are dead and buried. Then that loss to Derby, I feel like is just kind of the kick in the teeth again. I can't see it. I think they'll probably finish bottom, to be honest. Watford, I feel like the thing with Tom Cleverley is a little bit reactionary. I think it's kind of like if they have a good result and then it's all Tom Cleverley, we're all behind him, and then you kind of have another bad one. I think it's been a successful season. I don't think any of them could have predicted playoffs, and that kind of zone between. Well, I mean, it's kind of got smaller this year because it's been so tight, but that zone between 10th and 16th, there's not much difference, is there? You need to just be looking towards next season, and I think Tom Cleverley's shown that. I mean, Watford, you can't really expect your owners to back him potentially, but I think if they do back him, they've got a good platform to build on.
Yeah, I mean, most people predicted they'd be struggling down at the bottom of the table, didn't they? So.
Yeah.
The fact they're 11th or 12th, I mean, Watford fans would soon take. Was there a score in there? Did you say? I forgot what you said.
I'll go 2-0 to Watford.
This is where do I listen to what the fans are telling me? Go with a Plymouth win. No, I can't. I can't do that. No, we'll go for 1-1. We'll go for a draw. It won't be enough for Plymouth. They can't. They don't need draws now. Right, let's stay at the bottom of the table. Cardiff are at home and they take on Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah, you look quite good with that badge next to you. Suits you. So I've spoken to our Cardiff fans who are obviously frustrated with that Luton result, but then went to Blackburn and even nicked 3 points. They were by far the better team. Do you think Cardiff will stay up?
Yeah, I do. I was impressed. I mean, some of the times I've watched them properly. I mean, that Burnley game, then also it was close with Sunderland. I touched on this last week, and then they kind of let us down. I would question though Blackburn. I mean, that probably seems like a better result than it actually is. Because obviously Blackburn they're falling apart at the moment. But no, I think they're going to stay clear. But I unfortunately have predicted a Sheffield Wednesday win. I think it can't all go bad. Ryan Bruce is scoring at Hillsborough to win the game. They need a bit of good fortune. I've gone 2-1 Sheffield Wednesday.
Okay.
Get it in there again, Mark.
Yeah, that's the third time. Yeah, we'll go 2-0 Wednesday as well. I don't think their season is over yet. That's what Wilder says. Yeah, we mentioned Oxford United. They travelled to the Riverside to face a Borough side who, crikey, if you want to talk about a fan base that is just fed up and ready for the season to end, well, look no further than Middlesbrough fans, crikey. Gary Rowett's done a decent-ish job at Oxford United, but they've that win against Watford was absolutely crucial for them because they would have been, fourth from bottom. How do you see this one going?
I think before that win, was it 9 without one for Oxford? I mean, that form I said in a video is 100% going to send you down. So for them to instantly change it and get 3 points, it is the point in the season that 3 points is huge. That win might be what's kept them up. They could potentially lose all the rest of the games and stay up. Points matter. I don't think they're going to get any here, though. I've gone 2-1 to Borough. Borough are so inconsistent, aren't they, really? But I do just see this as a game they're going to win.
Okay, we'll go 1-0 Borough. Yeah, can't see them grabbing anything at all. Right, the other team that is looking over their shoulder down at the bottom is Pompey. Now they shouldn't be really because they went to beat Leeds, as we know, and then they followed that up with a loss at home to Plymouth, which no one saw coming, and then a loss to Preston. So, from being in a position of, we're going to be safe to now, because everybody else is looking over their shoulder. Pompey aren't going to go down, are they?
No, I also don't think they are. It's interesting, Mark. I have predicted a Pompey win, but I'm going to change it. I just feel like this would be the classic championship. I just touched on how Blackburn are falling apart, and everyone knows how good, what a difficult place Fratton Park is to go to, how good Portsmouth have been there. So I just think it's written in the stars for a 2-1 Blackburn win. To flip, Blackburn can't lose. They're not going to lose every game for the rest of the season, are they? They're not going to. I think 2-1 to Blackburn.
All right, we're going to go 3-1 Pompey. I can't see the Rovers. There's something not quite right at Rovers at the moment. And then we need to focus on the playoff positions as well. There's a game at Carrow Road which will confirm whether Norwich are still in this race or not. So it's a must-win for the Canaries. They sit currently mid-table, a significant number of points away from sixth place, which West Brom currently looking to occupy. How do you see this one?
I think if you'd asked 2 weeks ago, it might have been a different question. But I think since then, West Brom's recent form is just been really impressive, just great results. And Norwich have just been so inconsistent defensively, kind of just everywhere. Even goals, people say they score goals, but I think they're too reliant on Signs and Sargent. Maybe I think to me it shows in the table. West Brom are sixth, and West Brom have a chance at the playoffs, a real chance as well. I don't think Norwich do, so I've gone 2-1 to West Brom.
Okay. 18 draws out of 38 for West Brom. That's mad. What's the defence here? Yeah, Norwich can score, but they're hopelessly defensively. I'm going to go 2-2. Another draw. And then Sunderland, who have fallen off a cliff in terms of their energy, their possession. Fans said it was the worst performance of the season at the CBS. They take on a Millwall side who still themselves have a squeak of the playoffs. What's your prediction for this one?
Maybe. Well, obviously, yeah. Sunderland. What an awful result at the CBS, losing 3-0. I think particularly I think that's going to be the playoff final. Sorry. So to lose it and in that manner, you kind of make Sunderland fans think like, well, is there anything to this? Is there anything to play for in this season? If you know what I mean. But yeah, I do think they're going to win here. I've gone 2-0. But yeah, as a Sunderland fan, I wouldn't be confident for the rest of the season.
Okay. I'm going to go 1-0 to Millwall. I don't know why. Just these players just don't seem up for it at the moment. They seem to just switched off a little bit. And our final game sees Stoke City take on QPR at the Bet365, in which is a huge game for Stoke because their home fixtures, as we've already mentioned before, are very, very difficult to come. QPR is a winnable game because they have just stopped. They've just stopped the rot with Leeds, but before that they were conceding and not scoring. So, Stoke win here or not?
I've gone with a 1-1 draw, Mark. I feel like both teams, kind of Stoke being maybe looking on the up to kind of get away from the relegation zone, and Queen's Park Rangers obviously kind of just coming down. I feel like it's kind of they're very even teams at the moment if you take into account their form. So I think 1-1. I also think I can just see both of these teams getting they kind of seem to draw in my head. I don't think that's necessarily statistically, but yeah, that's my view.
QPR are having a season which started badly, got really good in the middle, which is my predictions for dark horses. I've switched to Millwall now, by the way. They're dark horses, and now they're finishing off the season as badly as they started it. Not completely safe yet either. QPR, they might just need one more win. Will they get it here? No, they won't. I think it'll be Stoke 1-0 win. It won't be a good watch this at all. But Stoke will do it. Right, international break. Whilst we're recording this, could you get up for England games or not? Are you behind Tuchel? What's your thoughts?
That's the only exciting thing, isn't it? It's Thomas Tuchel. I mean, a few question marks about the squad. It's not nice to see a Championship player in it, James Trafford. But no, do I get behind England games in a proper competition? But not these kind of friendlies. Is it the qualifiers? Even then, it's so. We're going to qualify, aren't we? So to me, it's a little bit boring.
Yeah, would you like to think against Albania and whoever else it is? Right, thank you very much for watching. Do drop us a subscribe if you're just coming across the channel. We do these predictions every single week. We'll update you on the scores next week. I had a good week last week, but he's not mentioned that because he doesn't want to bring it up. But next week we'll update you on everything. Also put your scores below, and we'll read some of these out next week. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great international week, and please bring back the Championship soon. See you soon.